Hey, what's up guys, Matt here. This review has been about 3 to 4 weeks delayed due to the fact that I did originally unbox it, but I didn't do too well with the video and trying to sort things out with my new camera. So this is the first model review I'm recording with the Panasonic GH5. So this is in 4K, it's at 25 FPS, there's no need to go up to 50 FPS. And so yes, if you have a 4K or 2K enabled monitor or display, best to watch it in that resolution because you get to see the model's details even better. Just a few things before I go into this model. First things first is I have an on-camera light, which allows me in the second part of the video when we look at the model itself, not at the box. It allows, it brightens everything up, so the light is very good. It keeps the same exposure the entire time, so I don't need to worry about the changing light behind me because I usually rely on natural light. So I'm relying on natural light for the when I'm showing the box, just because the light is very, very reflective. In fact, I'll just show you now. You can see where the light location is when I turn the light on. See, it's very reflective. So that's why we'll be on in the second part of the video. Next thing, sorry about this, just be real quick because I do need to get into this, I have a greater zoom range on the lens that I use. So my Nikon camera, which is just for photography now, the lens I used was an 18 to 55 millimeter, 35 millimeter equivalent was 30 to roughly 77 millimeters. And then this GH5 lens I'm using is a 12 to 60 millimeter. So 35 millimeter equivalent is actually 24 to 120. So you can see 30 to 77, 24 to 120. So the zoom range is a lot more on this camera. It also allows me to get even closer to my shots or whatever. So it's a really good camera, really good lens to go with it. And I really hope you enjoy, considering it's in 4K as well, so everything is even better. So now let's get into this model review. This is the Air New Zealand 747-400 Lord of the Rings Frodo livery, as you can probably tell by now. This is made by JC Wings in a 1 to 200 scale. Please check out the description in case you missed anything throughout this video. My Facebook, Twitter and Instagram links will be down there as well. I pre-ordered this from easytoys.com, their link will also be down in the description. This is my 48th 747 model and it's my 21st Air New Zealand model. Some information about Air New Zealand. The operations base is out of Wynyard Quarter in the Auckland Central Business District. Main hubs are Auckland International Airport, Christchurch International Airport and Wellington International Airport. Focus cities are Los Angeles International Airport and Sydney Kingsford Smith. They were founded on the 26th of April 1940 as TEAL, which is Tasman Empire Airways Limited, and they were renamed to Air New Zealand on the 1st of April 1965. The fleet size of Air New Zealand is currently 104 aircraft as of the 4th of September 2017. Air New Zealand did operate a total of 13 747s over 33 years. 5 were 747-200s and 8 were 747-400s. The last Air New Zealand 747 operated from San Francisco to Auckland on the 12th of September 2014 with the registration number ZK-NBV. Air New Zealand currently operates to 52 destinations worldwide, and they operated the 747-200s from Auckland to Honolulu, Frankfurt, Papeete, Dallas Fort Worth and London Gatwick. The 747-400s from Auckland to Nagoya and Beijing. And both the 747-200s and 400s from Auckland to Los Angeles, San Francisco, Vancouver, London Heathrow, Hong Kong Kai Tak and Czech Lapcock respectively, Singapore Changi, Tokyo Narita, Sydney, Melbourne and Brisbane. This aircraft's first flight was on the 9th of October 1998 and delivered to Air New Zealand on the 31st of October 1998. Its last flight departed San Francisco on the 10th of September 2014 and arrived for the last time at Auckland on the 12th of September 2017. Sorry, 2014, not 2017. On the 14th of October 2014, the aircraft departed Roswell, where it was departed for Roswell. Sorry about that. Where it was stored by its new owner, Air Sale. The aircraft is now owned by Vamos Air and is occasionally leased to Saudi Arabian Airlines. Boeing customer code for this aircraft is 19. Okay. Let's take a look around this around the box. Also, one thing that this lens does let me do while I show you around the box here. I'm using autofocus, by the way, because this camera has an amazing autofocus, but you will hear at times I'll be using manual focus, so you may hear a click when I turn it over. Is I don't have to change exposures. So the exposure won't change when I zoom in like it has on the Nikon D5500. So that is good. I can't remember what it's called. It's something to do with the aperture, because the aperture changes by itself, and so unless you have an auto, it's going to change. This one doesn't do that. I set it on its minimum aperture, I believe. Minimum, which is f4. I believe it's minimum. I can't remember exactly. So f4, and it doesn't change from there. This can go up to 2.8, but only at its closest zoom range. And anyway, there we have the model. Alright guys, so the model is now out of the box. Just real quick, if you could leave a comment about the light, if you prefer the on-camera light when I go into the model, and also the exposure. Do you think the exposure is correct for the light? Just take a look throughout this part where I look around the model, and if you think it's correct, if it needs to be brightened or needs to be darkened. I'll take separate looks at it, but from what I can see on my monitor and through the eyepiece, it looks okay. But really, I make these model reviews for you, so it's best if you let me know what needs to be changed around in regards to that. Anyway, let's take a look around the model. Right, so we're at the cockpit windows. So it's the cockpit windows, window wipers, pitot tube static ports. You can see the autofocus is slightly flicking around a little bit. Star Alliance logo, because Air New Zealand is a member of Star Alliance, which is a group of 27 airlines. There's the registration number on the nose gear door, BV. Air New Zealand titles, Airline to Middle Earth titles as well, because Air New Zealand, their slogan used to be Airline to Middle Earth. And we also have the realistic inboard landing lights, which are pieces of plastic, to make them look really realistic. When we come to the engines, these are General Electric CF6-80C2B1F engines. Also note real quick, the way I'm filming this is even more difficult due to the fact that everything is quite heavy on the camera now. So it's wanting to go forward due to the light on top of the camera. And it's also making the dolly I use to slide the camera around, making it real tough. So these fan blades do spin. So just note that if you see any sort of jerky motion while I'm trying to move the camera around or anything, just note it's because it's really heavy. And that spins as well, so it's a better look at those inboard landing lights. And this is far easier using the autofocus, but then I will have to change to, well, possibly to manual at some point. There's the landing lights on the nose gear. Inboard landing lights. These fan blades also spin. Alright, let's continue. And that's where I'll be needing to use my manual focus. Wouldn't have been in focus at that distance from the winglet anyway. Okay. Promise I won't talk about that in future model reviews, I'll just get on with it. So there's the winglet, very cool winglet, and there's the red navigation light as well. Alright, back onto the fuselage. Let's go on a little bit about this livery. So this was the Frodo livery was applied in December 2002 in order to promote New Zealand and the Lord of the Rings trilogy. It was eventually repainted into the Pacific Wave livery in August 2004. Frodo Baggins was played by Elijah Wood, the character you see on the right, and Samwise Gamgee was played by Sean Astin, who's on the left. Right, nearing the empennage, we have the Lord of the Rings titles, everything, Boeing 747-400, New Zealand flag, and registration number ZK-NBV or Zulu Kilo November Bravo Victor. And then the koru on the tail. And there's the APU exhaust, and beneath it are the markings for the strobe light. Honestly, I can't stress enough how easy it is to have a proper autofocusing system on a mirrorless or DSLR camera. Now we come to the starboard side, where we have the Cockpit Windows, window wipers, pitot tube, static ports, Star Alliance logo, BV part of the registration on the gear door, Air New Zealand titles, Airline to Middle Earth, and there's the front cargo container door, inboard landing lights, the nice looking CF6 engines, and then the awesome winglet with the green navigation light. Also, the benefit of autofocus, I must add, is that it's more precise and it adjusts far more quickly. There's the rear cargo container door and the bulk bin door. Also that delivery again, which is really, really cool. Boeing 747-400, New Zealand flag, registration number, Lord of the Rings titles, and the koru on the tail. Okay, so let's take a look underneath the aircraft now. There we go. So there's the nose gear, antenna, the necker ducts, another antenna, although that could be a drain mast, not too sure. If it is, then there's about 3 marked on here. There's a beacon light, Hole for the stand, main gears and gear doors. Underneath the wing, flap slats ailerons. There's the fuel dump valve underneath the engines. And one last thing about autofocus, I must say it's a lot easier looking under and on top of the aircraft, because I'm constantly having to move the aircraft away or in to find the right place. Same on the side, but with the registration number. And underneath these engines as well. A couple more antennas. As I said, I don't know if those are drain masks, but anyway, those squares right there are the cabin pressure relief valves. There's the APU housing. And on top of the aircraft, there's the emergency escape hatch for the pilots, anti-collision light, antenna. I think it's slightly hunting the autofocus. That's the last time I'll talk about it. Maybe because the exposure is too high, possibly. On top of the wings, flap slats, ailerons and spoilers. Again, there's that fuel dump valve. Nice view on top of those engines. By the way, you probably can understand why this would be my first 4K model review, because it's an Air New Zealand model. Big fan of Air New Zealand, especially these Lord of the Rings liveries. There's the ADF antennas. And we come down to the horizontal stabilizers. You see the two grey dots near the outboard ends of the horizontal stabilizers. They are the logo lights that light up the tail at night time. Okay. And also, forgot to mention New Zealand flag. Of course, that means Air New Zealand is the flag carrier of New Zealand. Now, onto some of the features of this model. So, rolling landing gear. That is due to one of the wheels sort of, not moving at all, and it's that what you can hear is the metal clicking together because the magnet's coming away. So it's not rolling too well with one of those gears. Nose gear does swivel, of course. Main gears do tilt. I'm not going to go through the seating configuration because it's pointless with an aircraft that is not part of the fleet anymore. So it won't make a difference. Okay, now I'll show you the stand. So, as always, the wooden base with the metal plaque, Air New Zealand 747-400, scale 1 to 200. There's the bottom. You can tell I've done this as a few fingerprints because I've taken the film off, blue film, padding on top of the stand. Yeah, as you can see right there. And that's just to protect the model underneath so it does not scratch the paint. Now the gears, of course, as always, can easily be removed. Put back on. This nose gear is a little tough because it's quite tight once it goes in. So I just want to be careful not to push it too far in. But yeah, they are magnetic anyway, so they are meant to easily come off and put back on. Then there are gear doors here to use if you want it in the in-flight mode. Alright guys, this is going to be the end of this review. I hope you have enjoyed my first 4K model review. Every model review from now on will be in 4K. And the other camera, as I said before, is exclusively going to be used for photos. So this is going to be my videography camera, my filming camera. I hope the quality is very good. It's in 4K, of course, but you know, everything else like exposure, colors, everything, hope that's all good. Please leave a like if you did enjoy, comment, tell me what you think of this model, tell me if you're going to get it. I would highly recommend it. Subscribe for more, and also share this video as well so other people who know about this model and see if they want to get it, because it's a fantastic looking model and it's a great addition to any collection. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.